Good morning, guys. Let's get into it. First thing though, this is the same chart that you've been looking at. I just changed the colors back to what I typically use. If you are a BBC lover, you're obsessed with those big black charts, then let me know in the comments. I'm willing to compromise. I personally hate it though. I feel like I can't see. I know it's a bit easier on the eye sometimes on devices, but when it's black and it's like light, I feel like there's too many shiny colors going on. It feels like it gets messy very quickly. Also, these zones that we use are easier to distinguish, like dark zones for the 1 hour, lighter zones for the 4 hour. But like, I can probably get used to it. It's just what I'm used to. So tell me in the comments if you like that. If you don't, whatever, we can compromise. But let's just jump straight into it. So first thing, just to glaze myself a little bit, right here on the 27th, I said, I think the bottom is in here and we're ready to come risk on. I said, everybody's getting bearish. Everybody says it's over. This is your chance. Don't fumble. And we've been up only since then. So again, if you're not in the TG, if you're not following me on Twitter, do so. It's the first link in the description and you'll see what I'm doing as and when I do it and say it. So yeah, GG, well played to those that followed. Now, coming on to the analysis for today, everything's been playing out as we expected. So we came up, we're on the 4 hour now. We came up, we tagged first of all, the bottom of this range here at 96.8. We came back and then we pushed straight into our low volume node again. We rejected straight off the low volume node. You can see here that we went straight through it, but we did come back first on the lower time frame to come back. We came then back, retested the top of our zone here at 98.9, and then have rejected. And look, again, this is why we draw these levels each day. You know, you can also sit and think, oh, he's changing these each day. No, you can go back and look at the previous videos. You know, this is why I draw these each day, and this is why we keep these on the chart, because you can see where we're going to draw for liquidity and where traders are going to, we're smart traders. This is when people say smart money concepts. What does that even mean? Most of it's just all marketing slop for the algorithm. But smart money concepts is how does big money get in and out of positions? How does big money actually trade? Because they can't just slam market orders, like somebody with $500 in their account can, because 1, the fees are horrendous, 2, the slippage will probably be horrendous, and 3, they're going to show their positions and what they're doing. On top of that is also most of the smart money as well is high frequency trading and algorithmic trading, and they trade based on certain patterns, certain algorithms, obviously, and they have particular plays. And when you know how they work, and when you put all this picture together, there's only certain ways in which the market can realistically move, and that's why I'm doing these videos to show you. And because this is how I trade, and this is what actual smart money concepts is, not some slop indicator. Okay, so we bounced back from the top of our daily sell side imbalance here, bounced straight off the low volume node in the 4 hour buy side imbalance, came back up perfectly, well, almost perfectly. There, retested that low volume node. And now we're coming back and chopping in between here. This is what I said in the last video, that we probably now see some sideways action a little bit, which we have. Again, remember, this is the 4 hour time frame. So if we go down on the lower time frame, it will be chopping about a little bit. And yeah, this is the range that we're trading into. So if we're looking to come to retest, again, I'll give you more specific insights in the order flow stuff later. But right now, as we always do in these videos, we're getting the bigger picture on the higher time frame. We're going to look to come back, hold these levels of support, again, these low volume nodes. And if we don't, what do we do, guys? This is why I've got the lines here and why I've got the zones laid out. We're going to come back and test the top. If we push back into the zone more, it's probably going to revisit the low volume node. We've got an overlap here of a daily buy side imbalance and a 4 hour buy side imbalance. You can see here as well, the low volume node of the 4 hour overlaps with the top range of the daily buy side imbalance. So you can see that's probably high confidence to want to get tested at some point. And again, if we don't hold here, we'll probably look to come here, come here, come here. And the easier levels, we'll just run through them now in case for some reason some of you don't have eyes and can't read. And if you can't, then I'm not sure why you're watching a video on YouTube. But so there's no excuses, so there's no reason for you not to win. There's the levels. At the top of the range here, where is our resistance? 97,250. Then we come back down to 95,787. Then it's 95,500, 94,400, 92,908. 91,700, 93,665, 89,200, and we'll worry about the rest later, because unless we see some sort of complete tragedy here, I can't see us trading back into this today. But look, you can see the levels there, and they've been working for us so far. In general, though, I still don't think it's the time to fade. We are still in, we've still got this massive uptrend that we're in. We're making higher lows. So, as with the XMR trade, which again, if you listened to me yesterday, was don't fade. There was a lot of people trying to galaxy brain saying, we're massively overextended, go short, and it's gone up another $100. Okay. We ride the trend now. Don't try and galaxy brain. The only thing that does make me a bit bearish, I posted this in the Telegram yesterday, is CT is a bit too bullish. You know, all the bull larps are back now saying we're so back, blah, 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 after they were saying it's over and we're going to 50K the other day. That does make me a bit cautious, but at the end of the day, we play the chart that's in front of us. We're not rewarded for galaxy braiding. We're not even most of the time rewarded for being right. We're rewarded for trading well, which is being proactive, being able to be reactive, and just being locked in. So speaking of being locked in, we're moving over to the order flow here because this is what I want to see in the very short term. So we're down to the 3-minute chart. We've got our VWAP here, which is the white line, which is around, I should have the track around, but like 96,500-ish. As you can see here, we pushed in with cumulatively stronger negative delta traded into the VWAP. And one thing I find very interesting is, look at this. And look at this on the footprint. So we had massive negative delta, again, massive, you know, comparative to the current volume that's going on. And very low delta max, meaning there was very low number of aggressive participants, meaning market orders. Yet all of this got absorbed here. So what does that tell you? Also, we can look at the open interest. Again, we can see the open interest pushed all the way down here at one point, meaning that people were, you know, either closing longs, getting out of positions. And some of this push up here, we didn't see exactly what happened at the time, right? Which is why we want to read the order flow in real time. But we can also assume that some of this here was shorts exiting their position, but also we can tell based on the delta, based on the volume, based on the open interest, that there was big limit orders came here and there's buyers looking to support this. We can also see this again here. So right now in the short term, what we want to see hold is the VWAP around about 96,500. And this could be some great high confluence, quick invalidation trading opportunities here. If we come back to retest again and we see, like what I would, okay, to keep it stupid simple, say we come back here and we came to retest and I see another big buy in here, I want to join along with these people. Because that's the third time here that people are looking to support this level and hold it, right? So that's telling us big money is stepping in there. That's telling us that the smart money, right? This is where the smart money concept comes in, yeah? That the smart money is looking to buy there. So do you want to be dumb money or do you want to be smart money? If you want to be smart money, you do what the smart money does. And if you can see the smart money's buying, what are you going to do? Probably buy, right? Again, simple, don't galaxy brain it. And the great thing about this trade here is that our invalidation is simple. We see buyers not getting rewarded for their efforts. We start pushing under the VWAP. First of all, I just want to be out. Here, if we look for a retest of here, I just want to get instantly validated. We get bought up and we continue upwards. Again, we're on sort of lower volume now going into the New York Open in a couple of hours. So, you know, it's not as crazily volatile, but that's what you want to see from the behavior. You just want to see this get instantly rewarded. If we start pushing down, closing, retesting, coming back down to test the daily value area low, just get out. Because yes, we may come back and test this low here at the daily value area low and people might look to accumulate again, but just get out. You just get out here and just wait to see what happens, because there's nothing to say that we won't go break through this, test this first standard deviation VWAP, come down to test these lows here, retest the daily low, try and find a bounce there. And we don't want to be involved in that. I mean, if you want to go short and that's your thesis, you know, by all means, you do want to be involved in that. But if we're looking for the high probability plays, which is going with the market now, then we don't want to be involved. You know, if you're trying to go long, you don't want to be involved in that. You just want to be out, wait to see people get rewarded and join the party to the upside. Okay, and it's kind of as simple as that. And to be totally clear, that would be my play from the short side here. So, you know, we see this not getting held. We see people start to come in. Again, you need to read the order flow at the time. You need to see how aggressive is it? Is it people just not getting supported? Is it people giving up in longs? Or is it actually people actively trying to short this down and, you know, get rewarded for doing so? Again, my next targets would be the daily value area low, looking towards retesting this low again in the daily low. If that doesn't hold, I'd expect probably a huge nuke all the way down to the weekly VWAP. Again, you'd at first look to retest this low here, of course, because that's just the way that price action works. But also bear in mind and draw on your chart the levels that we put on TradingView. Again, okay, the levels we put on TradingView, because these are the ones from the order flow perspective of your VWAPs, your daily lows, your daily value area lows, but also looking at those low volume nodes and the sell side and buy side imbalances from the TradingView chart. And there you have it. You've got the simple plays. You know, if we go up, this is where we're going to test probably. If we go down, here's where we can look to enter. Here's where we can look to take profit. And here's where we'll look for support. And just before we finish, there's one last look at the levels. And one thing I will say before we go is, let's say we continue pushing to the upside today as well, and we keep just breaking through here, right? We start trying to make new highs. Really what we want to be doing is breaking 98. If we look to break 98 Again, we could see a push onto 100 being very likely. If we zoom out here, we've got this test and we've got really, really great confluence here. It's actually so great, it's a little bit suspicious, but this would be our next zone here. It's the daily sell side imbalance to the upside here, with the lower range starting at 99.9, and the low volume node within here is actually at 100K spot on, right? Which is obviously massive psychological level, pretty much the biggest psychological level for Bitcoin in its history. And we have a low volume node there, and that just makes me very suspicious. That's such a 20 IQ and a 500 IQ play to push up into there and obviously take profits. People are obviously going to front run this, so I wouldn't even imagine I wouldn't even be surprised to see something like, you know, we just spike up here. But I imagine some trickery and some BS going on here. I imagine it will get very interesting. But look, at the end of the day, like I say, take profits aggressively. We don't need to galaxy brain. If we're up good and our thesis has played out, take the profit and wait to see what happens. Remember, you can always go back in. You can always go back in. But what you can also always do is round trip and lose your money. So don't do that. But yeah, that's basically everything for today. Make sure you're in the Telegram. I'm also going to set up a chat for the Telegram as well. I'm just kind of drip feeding these things one by one so we don't get like overwhelmed at first. But yeah, leave me a comment, tell me what you think. Again, let me know about the chart, but just add any thoughts you've got about what I've said on here. You know, love to hear what you guys think. And like the video, subscribe to the channel, share it with some of your friends, and let's make some money. But yeah, other than that, good luck, have fun, and I'll see you in the books.